A Minneapolis judge sentenced former officer Tao to 4 years and 9 months in prison, longer than the state recommended. His convictions in aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. Prosecutors argued Tao stood by and did nothing as Floyd pleaded for his life in 2020, while Officer Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck. During today's hearing, Tao spoke for several minutes about his growth as a Christian since Floyd's death, but denied his role in it.
4 years? This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. Make sure you put the link in the description section, or make sure you get the link in the description section and buy you one of these USA shirts. Like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, I can't believe Officer Tao was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Now, I honestly hope that the judge that sentenced him, which was above the minimum required, above the maximum that was required, I hope that he spent a lot of time in prison one day or go to hell. And the only reason I'm saying that and being as extreme as I'm being, because this is not justice. All of this is political expediency. They get a judge that's not impartial to the law, a judge that literally is an activist, to send a man to prison for 4 years because he was doing crowd control. What wrote a clip?
Minneapolis police officer to face sentencing for the killing of George Floyd learned his fate today for his role in Floyd's death. A Minneapolis judge sentenced former officer Tao to 4 years and 9 months in prison, longer than the state recommended. His convictions in aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. Prosecutors.
Now, how in the you get him for aiding and abetting manslaughter? The man is doing crowd control. In the police academy, you are taught to focus on crowd control. There's 3 other officers back here. There's 3 other officers that are supposed to be dealing with the suspect. If he's crying, he's doing whatever, the person holding containment and crowd control should not get involved, because you are supposed to be making sure the scene is safe. Now, just imagine this. If the crowd was volatile towards George Floyd and George Floyd had the same complaint, and that officer turned around to try to check on George Floyd, and the crowd mob end up mobbing all of the officers and George Floyd on the side of the road, they'll be trying to put him in prison because he did not hold containment to protect the suspect. They don't know what these people are going to do. He has to hold containment, protect the officers, protect the scene. He gets 4 years because of that.
Argued Tao stood by and did nothing as Floyd pleaded for his life in 2020, while Officer Derek.
Crackhead, robbing people, spending his whole life using drugs. Took methamphetamine and fentanyl at the same time, which he was going to die at some point. He ingested a fatal amount of fentanyl. If it wasn't under the knee, it was going to be in jail, on the ride to jail, in the ambulance. No way was he going to live taking fentanyl and methamphetamine at the same time. But yeah, Chauvin is the one that, whatever, man. I think it's so stupid. Chauvin was an idiot and George Floyd was an idiot. The tale of 2 idiots. But yet they got people going to jail only because he's black. If this man was white, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Chauvin knelt on his neck.
And they making this man out to be a god. That's what ticks me off the most, is that they making him out to be a god. They got murals and everything of a crackhead, the lowest common denominator in the black community, because he died at the hands of a white cop. Somehow he's elevated to god status. Gold casket. When everybody had to abandon their family as they got buried in the hospital by themselves because of COVID, this guy had celebrities and everybody at his funeral. What about the woman that he robbed at gunpoint? A pregnant woman that he robbed at gunpoint in a home invasion. She got to sit and look at the man who terrorized her family, terrorized her. She got to look at his statue every day. Only because this Negro got killed by a white police officer. Nothing else.
During today's hearing, Tao spoke.
Look at this fool. Look at this fool. What a coward. This judge is a complete coward. If I saw him in public, I'd tell him to his face, you are a coward, sir.
for several minutes about his growth as a Christian since Floyd's death, but denied his role in it.
I did not commit these crimes. My conscience is clear.
Good. You'll be out, brother.
I will not be a Judas, nor join a mob in self-preservation, or betray my God, nor the true faithful countrymen who found this country under the fear and majesty of God.
I was hoping for a little more remorse, regret, acknowledgement of some responsibility.
Of what? The man didn't even look at George Floyd. I don't even think he looked back there. What a cow. I hate men like this. What a scumbag, dirtbag of a human being. No backbone, no spine, just a coward. I can't stand people like this. Like, our country could be so much greater if it wasn't for cowards.
And less preaching.
Tao said,
And less preaching. You anti-God nut. I guarantee he laying up with another man at night. I'm just saying.
in state court will
Look like he laying up with another man. And mad at this man for even preaching Christianity and making a statement to say I didn't do these crimes because I didn't even look at George Floyd. I ain't talked to George. I didn't touch George Floyd. I ain't had nothing to do with George Floyd. That man died and I didn't even know he died. I'm doing crowd control. There's 3 other officers on his back. What do they got to do with me? But let me tell you how it makes me effing upset. The man that sold George Floyd the fatal amount of drugs, where he at? The drug dealer sitting in the front seat with George Floyd is free. This man finna do 4 years in prison potentially because he was doing crowd control on the scene where a dude died. But the dude that sold him the fatal amount of fentanyl and methamphetamine is walking the streets today. I can't believe that we live in a society where people are living in a false fantasy world. Chauvin should have been the only one on trial. Chauvin should have been the only one considered for the murder of George Floyd. Everybody else had nothing to do with that. Just because the guy said, I can't breathe, he complained. And people do that every day, all day, 24 hours a day. A man got a crazy mob that could attack these police officers, and he's focused on that, and he get charged and get 4 years in prison for the death of something that somebody else did. It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me.